Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Muchly appreciate that. Thank you to my followers. And if you could hit like, subscribe, and share the video with those online, your friends and family, that would be great. If you're coming across the channel, please don't leave without subscribing and hitting the likes. We're just over 2 years at this now, building a strong community here for a Habs channel that we tend to stick to. Well, been doing a lot of the reviews that we'll be doing more in the future, and we discuss, some topics, some hot topics that are going on, and what condition the Habs are in. And so okay. We're going to get right into it. It's December 10th, 2024, and the Ducks were in Montreal last night. We got a 3-2 victory out of the game in a shootout. This was a different type of game. I'll get into it. I'll give you the stats and things first. All right. First period, we had a 1-1. Each team getting a goal. Second period was the same type of story, 1-1. Third period, no scoring. Overtime, no scoring. And in the shootout, we had 2 goal scorers for the Habs, which happened to be, and we won it in the shootout, Patrick Laine and Cole Caulfield, both scoring. This was nice. Monty gets the win. Dostal was in net for the Ducks. Kid yourself not. He had a pretty strong game as well. So Patrick Laine was hot he's been, scored in regulation and added a winner in the shootout as the Montreal Canadiens beat the Anaheim Ducks Monday night. Kirby Dach, can you believe it? Gets his first goal in 20 games as the Canadiens rebounded after blowing a 2-goal lead at home Saturday against the Washington Capitals. Montreal has won 3 of its last 4 games. Laine scored his 3rd power play goal in 4 games since his return from his injury on December 3rd. He also picked up his first assist of the season. Nick Suzuki extended his streak to 7 games. Sam Montembeault, 27 saves. So, solid game. Patrick Laine, without question, was the first star for us. 1 goal, 1 assist. Second star was Monty, who did beautifully in that overtime. 27 saves, and like I said, he closed the door in the shootout. My apologies. And Troy Terry, my word, this guy, I'm sorry, should have been the second star, to be honest. 2 goals for a +1. Truthfully, if we look at it, he was the star of the game. This Terry kid, he is something else to watch. If there was a player between him and Matthew Nyes, these would be the 2 players first on my list that I'd love if we could, wishful dream, could manage to get on our club. I'd love to have these 2 guys, maybe even with a guy like Brady Tkachuk or something, that type of thing. Wow, this guy was just, this was Troy Terry night. Watching him, he is something. He's the face of that franchise. All right, so we're going to go to the scoring summary. 236. Patrick Laine scores, assisted by Nick Suzuki and Hudson on the power play. Our power play has finally become something. What a great move to get to Hudson. He moves that puck so beautifully. He does so much better quarterbacking that. He weaves his passes in and out. He's just beautifully. He gets a whole vision of the ice surface. I'm sorry. He's definitely a major step up on. I like Matheson, but there's no comparison here. 10:49, Troy Terry ties the game, assisted by Cam Fowler and Jansen Harkins. Second period, Troy Terry again, assisted by Kellehorn and Valtrano on the power play. So we got burnt ourselves. And then, nice to see this one at 4:36. Kirby Dach. Yeah, it took an open net, but hey, he got it. Slab pounced on an error made by Dossel And I know I think it kind of caught him off guard as well. And Lonnie got an assist on it as well for Kirby Doc's second goal. So maybe this will bring Kirby out of his dump. So no scoring in the third, no scoring in the overtime. However, they were really all over us in the third and in the overtime. We had a couple of breakaways again that we did not capitalize on. This is becoming a reoccurring theme with um, Dvorak being one of them. I'm trying to think who was the other on the breakaway. Something makes me want to say Anderson. Anyway, so in the shootout, we get the first shooter, Patrick Laine, goal. Mason McTavish, Monty makes a save. Goal Caulfield, goal. Fourth shooter, Terry, save. Monty, I mean, that was huge. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Terry would have scored with the type of game he was having. So that was huge. Here's the shot department. We're going to give you those, and then we're going to talk about this. 29 shots to 21 for Anaheim. Hits were 30 to 21 for Anaheim. Face-offs 28 apiece. Power plays 1 for 3 for Anaheim, 1 for 2 for the Habs. Penalty minutes 9 for Anaheim, 11 for the Habs. Breakaways 12 for Anaheim, 15 for the Habs. Takeaways 6 for Anaheim, 1 for the Habs. Block shots 17 to 11 for the Habs. This was an interesting game. I found, in my opinion, when the puck dropped, I thought the first 7 minutes Montreal had more control, and then it was like we just fell off the map. And Anaheim just from that 7 minute point, 7 to 8 minute point, let's say somewhere's an approximation in there, and Anaheim took over that period, and that was a horrible period by the Montreal Canadiens. And it was nice to see in the interview. And I have to say, I love this is what I'm really enjoying Patrick Laine, and I mean that's saying something because I know I can be honest and say, originally I wasn't for this when they were just debating this, taking him on. But I'll tell you what, although mind you, he's not as bad. He's not in the same category as had it been Dubois. I would have never watched the game again. Anyway, but so in saying that, like I said, he's been a great blessing, and I like and that was just it with Lane. You knew he had the talent, the raw talent. He looked half decent in Winnipeg. He just didn't have that same vibe in Columbus. And what I see here is a much happier Lane being in Montreal. But what I liked is the honesty. He gets interviewed and he comes out, yeah, it's nice to score a goal because he scored that goal in the first period for the Habs. But he said, kind of, it gets overshadowed by how poorly we played in the first period. And it does, not many guys are going to speak like that. And that's what needed to be said. So, way to go, Patrick. Being honest, straightforward. You came out and you put it where it was due to wake up your teammates because they were playing pathetic. I mean, you thought they were going to play good because, like you said, the first 7 to 8 minutes they looked all right, and then they were nowhere to be found. I mean, in a lot of ways, I thought this team is lucky that they're not way behind. But and then we get into the second period and we get into, you're trying to regroup from that horrible, 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 horrible uh, first period, and then you run into penalty trouble. And unfortunately, on the second, you're bound to get burnt um, on the power play. You were bound to get burnt. There was two back to back there. I'm just try and see. I know we got scored on when it came up to the second penalty because it was back to back, which was a shame because I felt so bad for Jack Guy because that was kind of a questionable call as well. I don't think he was holding him at all. Um, that's just my opinion. I think they went down and looked. Newhook got the first penalty, and Jack Guy got the second one when they were scored upon. And nice to see Caden Gooley step up, though. He gets challenged and by Strome, and Strome comes out starting off. I mean, there's no way Caden Gooley could, and there should have been an instigator addition to Strome in my book, because Caden Gooley in the beginning wasn't really. I don't think he was totally ready for that, but yet he came through and took the fight on, and he ended up getting stronger as the fight went on. And good on Gooley, good job, very physical. 4 or 5 hits he had in this game. Gooley's presence was very noticeable. This was good to see because some games there he has his moments where he's getting busted, and this one I thought he just really thankfully had an impact on it. Um, Defensively, I was really impressed. I'm going to be straightforward with. Um, I liked Barron and Jack Eye. I really did, both of them. I I was shocked that Struble wasn't in this game to match Gudis and Truba. But you know what? I like the fact we're starting to see some physicality to a different level from Barron. I was very impressed with his game. I see a lot of improvements in his game. So this is quite a tough dilemma when you got Jack Eye, Struble, and Barron. This is becoming you're almost, and I think you gotta throw you almost might as well just leave a rotating door, because I think the veterans are having more issues at times than the kids right now. They're having some odd games where the veterans are more at fault. I don't get when on the I really don't get Montreal's thought process when we're penalty killing. I'm sorry. I see this every game, and I've never seen defense played this way where you allow a guy behind you. And of course, and they did get busted on it to tap in a goal. You're not going to catch him if you're David Savard and you leave the guy behind you. Same thing with Mike Matheson. They leave the guy behind them. By the time you turn around and that rebound has come out after a shot, that guy's just got to tap it in. You ain't going to have time to, when you've left 3 to 4 feet in between you and that man, you're not going to be able to respond. So I really don't, and that's just me. Um, you know, um, this was a game, to be honest with you. This for Anaheim, they should have won that game. Let's be frank. This was a game. Yes, we played okay and we were in it, but the third period I found them stronger. Um, yes, we had the odd breakaways that we couldn't capitalize on again. We didn't play horrifying. We were in it, but I just thought Anaheim had the edge. So this is one of those games like we've seen Montreal in those shoes where they should have had a better fate, like New York. Montreal should have had that game. Well, this game here, truthfully, I think Anaheim should have had this game, um, like within the 3 periods. We got fortunate, some good stops by Monty, who had a solid game, but there was a good team effort. But this I don't know, man. The structure of the way we defend, people can say, "Oh, we're playing all right." I'm not. I'm not. I don't back this. The there's miscues here. Just in, I mean, these are two veteran guys that are doing a lot of the penalty killing, and this is happening on a regular basis, game in and game out, where they've got a man behind them sitting right in front of their goaltender. I mean, what do you expect? And what do you think is going to happen? You're going to get scored on. Cover your man, get in front of him, and take him out. I've seen better results from Jack Guy and Barron in that department. And even, oh man, that little guy Hudson. Uh, I love this kid. And I can say, again, I was concerned about his size before he came into the league. Concerned about it. I liked his talent, but had my concerns. But this kid has washed away my concerns because his defensive play for a little guy his size just as good as anybody else on the team. So his size is not that detrimental whatsoever so far in what I've seen, and I just love watching his 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 magical play. He's just beautiful. He can hypnotize you. He's beautiful. He's just I adore watching this guy. This kid has got really a great IQ, and the way he moves it. He's just got you all over, all the opposition on their heels, big time. Gouley had a strong game. I was impressed with his. I was not overly impressed. Now Matheson made some. Savard for me was the biggest. Sorry, I don't care about the. Yes, we know he blocked shots with his teeth. I get that, but he was the weakest link for me last night. And Matheson had some good points, but he had some weak points as well. So the veterans for me, which was shocking, I wasn't overly impressed with. However, it's also a lot of. I'm sorry. I know that Doc and Slav had good moments, but boy, they didn't start off the greatest. Um, and yes, there's a I still say I did see Doc throw some bigger hits than Slav. Now Slav had more longevity with being physical, but we want to talk about physicality. Uh, let's make no mistake for forwards. Heineman has been the most physical guy out there. This kid, I cannot say enough about. I'm baffled that, like I've said it all season long, he's been such a blessing, and Galley's been a blessing, and Evans has been a blessing. Armia has been strong. I even like Andy's game, which shocks me to say that, but this season he's been way better than last year. I think this penalty killing thing was a great move by the coaching staff because his game has been 100% better. So I got a lot to say. I am I'm done, and been done with Alex Newhook. I'm so done. Just continually, you watch this guy on the boards. When I see Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, for the little guy he is, gives more than anybody, um, other than Heineman and Galley and Evans. Other than them, he plays like a bigger player. Like on that first line, he's the one who's doing the bumping and grinding for a little guy. And Susie's come along too. He's been those two are working their arse off, and at least they're winning some battles. But anytime you see Newhook, and I challenge you to watch this every game when he gets in on the boards, you can be damn well guaranteed he will shy away from it, but guaranteed he's going to lose the battle on the boards. And then oh well, he just, this guy, I don't care. Yes, he's fast, and he's got a little bit he's got some talent, a little bit. He's not to the degree of, he doesn't have the IQ to be with uh, Susie and Caulfield. I don't even think if Doc and Slav weren't legging the way they are, that whole line is better than New Hook with Laine. Laine is carrying that line, that line. But those three, if the other two would get their game together, are way beyond Alex Newhook. Newhook doesn't have that IQ of those five guys. He just doesn't now. Yes, Slav and Doc are in a massive rut. We see that, but Newhook, that's the only reason Newhook's got that. And again, I see no reason why Heineman shouldn't be placed somewhere in that top six, given the opportunity. That guy's busted his ass. I mean, I've seen some plays in Anaheim's zone last night where he was crashing and banging, and it was the odd time where I did think that Evans had a slightly, and he still had an all right game, but he had a little bit not as in tuned. Same with Armia, because like I said, I seen uh, Heineman just busting his tush, and I watched his two line mates while Heineman's going up against three guys in the zone, and because three guys went after him because he was doing so well on the board battles, and he was causing havoc, but needed some assistance, some reinforcements from his line mates, and they didn't come in, which is shocking because Evans has been so positive. But I was shocked on that particular play, those plays that he didn't get the reinforcements to assist him because that kid was working his ass off, and I love the physicality he's bringing. But this team is and I will still say, soft, soft for having some big players on this team. Um, you know, Laine is not known for his physicality, but I'll tell you what, he's bringing more physicality than than Slav and Doc, and that's is what it is, right? Dvorak has had stronger play, so people need to rethink that. This guy has been working harder, so he should. I honestly think Dvorak's bringing his valuability up. He's been playing some half decent hockey. Um, Again, I think Susie's numbers were down in the faceoffs last night, down to about 40, and then Doc's were about 44 percentage. Doc was actually above Susie last night, but those are still not good numbers from either of them. But Susie usually has better numbers than that. That was just a one night thing. Uh, it happens, every now and then. But overall, he's had way better numbers. But last night he didn't. Um, Dvorak and Evans, or Dvorak had, he's been busted, like I said. But the defense, the team has to, they have to get more intensity. This team, there needs to be. If I'm Montreal, I'm sorry. When I see the mess that's going on in New York, don't sit there and let them do the Kako thing to you. When Chris Kreider's name is out there, I don't care what miracle you got to pull, as long as you don't have to pay a fortune, but which they probably would try that. And you got to watch because he's had a lot of years in compared to our young team, so you would have to watch what deal you're making. But I would take this guy into Montreal in a minute. He's exactly the type of grittiness, the type of gritty guys we need. This was a guy we always should have drafted. We know that over Galchenyuk. I'm having some problems with my monitor bringing up contrast. Anyway, so overall, Montreal had a good game, good solid game. I believe we have Pittsburgh um, Thursday for me. Uh, got to say, um, honestly, I don't project that Sidney Crosby seems to have our number. So for me, I wouldn't project a good outcome. At least we got this victory in a shootout from uh, Anaheim, and didn't expect it because really this was one they should have had because they outplayed us. We were in it, but they were just a little bit better. And Troy Terry, oh my goodness gracious! If I could have this player, oh, of course you'll never get him because that guy is the face of Anaheim. There's no doubt in my mind watching him, he was just magical to watch his effort. He gives you physicality, he gives you finesse, he gives you creativity, he gives you so much. It's beyond. My goodness, between him, Matthew Nyes, and even Brady Kachuk, Kreider, and Lafreniere, these type of guys, that would be the guys I'd be looking at. In Neshcash, yes, he was in that, but we'll never get him. We had our chance, but Um, my goodness, if I don't know what's wrong with New York, but boy, if you can somehow funk out a deal to get Kreider, man, I'd be all over because this Montreal's got a huge issue. And now I want to talk about something, and it's the work. People want to bring this up on podcasts, the work of Gordon and Bobberov, and understand he made New York what they were when getting Panarin in there and Zibanejad and Fox. So kid yourself, that's still he brought them from a low level. Yes, they're having problems and they're soft. They don't seem to have that physicality. Um, I do prefer Gordon's work in Boston when you bringing in guys like Bergeron and Mar Marchand and Krejci, those type of guys. When you're bringing in guys like that, and he had a lot to do with it, and Chara, um, I liked his work better there. However, don't kid yourself. That's still a lot of teams would love to have the work that's was done the way he built New York. And now, however, there is a big difference in the two ways that he was involved in building two different teams. I hope they view on focusing a little more on the Boston, um, what do you want to call it, masterpiece that was done. When yes, he wasn't the official. I think he was assistant GM or something like that, and had to do the work, did a lot of the work, and had a very big part in getting those guys. For me, I would look at that that master plan over New York any day of the week. So we got to be careful what we're saying here, because man, he built that Bruins team up for a good long time, that they were one of the top teams, and they're still strong enough for some of the leftover ingredients. So kid yourself not. People need to. This is a smart Gordon. Jeff Gordon's a very intelligent hockey mind. Kid yourself not. So I just hope that they realize and then keep looking at New York and say, yeah, we made that we built two good teams under him, but there's that is the softer of the two that he's been involved in. And like I say again, I think Chris Drury shot himself in the foot with the crap he started with Truba. So I don't know. I think that might be a mistake, whatever. But for us, hey, if New York's blowing up and they lost again last night and they're losing to teams they shouldn't be, for me, if you can pounce on getting a guy like Kreider, I would jump all over that. Just make sure you don't get fleeced. But I think you might have them in a vulnerable place. They got to do something to wake that team up. So thank you for watching. But yes, I believe we have. I'm going to go back to this. I believe we have New York or Pittsburgh. Sorry, um, in. Okay, let's see. That's Wednesday. Thursday, yes, the Penguins are in Montreal. That's going. I don't. We just Sid the Kid just seems, and then we have the Jets on Saturday. I just really honestly see Sid's had our number. We and the two games we played Pittsburgh, we have not proceeded very well in those. Had good outcomes, so don't expect much in that game. However, it is what it is. Good job for the Canadians having a better outcome in the last four games. And thank you for watching. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Muchly appreciate it before going. And you've seen it here first at Center Heights Productions, where the puck drops first. And from there, thank you for following. Share it, like it, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next review against the Penguins. But go Habs, go. Hey, this was we finally reversed the situation in a game where we were outplayed and we actually stole a game. That was us when we had a game stolen from us in New York. So it's almost like full circle. It comes around that you have different games where it balances out. So thank you for watching, and we will catch you in the next episode.